Welcome back to The Naked Connection. This is the show that supports driven men to reach sexual mastery and build deep connections. Take a moment and be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. What's up, you guys? It's Kirsten, and today we are talking about something real: being a single man on Valentine's Day. You're watching your coupled up friends make some romantic plans together. Your female friends might be trying to set you up. Or maybe you're experiencing this weird mix of pressure from that girl that you've gone on 2 dates with to make plans with her, and also this desire to be absolutely, completely alone. Whatever your situation is this Valentine's Day, we are about to flip the script. While everyone else on Valentine's Day is focused on these grand gestures and these short-term romances, you get to focus on building something so much more valuable. A life that naturally attracts the right kind of partner when you decide you want her on your own terms. In this episode, we are going to break down 3 actions that will completely shift not just how you approach dating, but how you show up as a man. And be sure to stick around because we are going to walk through dating app strategies as well. What to add, what to remove, and how to use dating apps effectively so that they actually work for you. All right, let's get some. The first action is going to be to build your social ecosystem. Because here's the reality. Dating apps should really be more like a side dish, not your main course when it comes to meeting women. Right now, if you are like most men, you're probably spending way too much time swiping and not enough time creating real-world opportunities for connection. Straight up, pull out your phone right now and look at the screen time to see how long you are on the apps. Is it 15 minutes? Is it more than half an hour? The reality is, I looked this up. According to recent data, the average single person spends around 50 minutes a day on dating apps. And actually, men spend slightly more on average than women do. If you are looking at your phone right now, seeing that screen time is showing 50 minutes a day, that is almost 6 hours a week. You guys, that is enough time to do something substantial in your life. I mean, 6 hours a day is basically practically almost a full day at work. Let's rethink what to do with this time so that it's effective, because chances are you aren't exactly loving the 50 minutes a day that you're spending on these apps. This is why the first action is really rooted around building social connections and meeting people in your daily life. People are far more likely to form a connection with someone when they meet through shared activities or social circles than through an app. You're being pre-vetted by the environment, right? You already have something in common that this woman can rely upon. Plus, women often feel safer meeting men through their extended social network. Of course, if we pull someone up on an app, we can do a lot of digging on the internet, but that still isn't going to give an individual an experience of knowing that person from a personal manner. Now, here's what this action is going to look like in practice. Decide to join the boxing gym that you've been thinking about. Get involved in a local business networking events. Maybe you're wanting to improve your business acumen. Take that class at your community college. Maybe you're interested in getting better at public speaking. Join a Toastmasters group in your community, right? Start attending and connecting with people doing things that you want to be doing. It can be so easy to get trapped at home, on the computer, on the phone, trying to connect with people. And there are people all over your community willing and ready to connect with you. Here's the key to this. You're not going to these places with the intention to hunt for dates. You are going to build a life that naturally creates opportunities for connection. When you do this, something really magical starts to happen because you will start meeting women who are already aligned with your interests and your lifestyles. That is going to help save you a ton of time in understanding if this woman is actually someone that's aligned with your life. Now, the second action is to focus on the high value paradigm. Now, the second action is to focus on the high value paradox. I'm not saying this is you, but many men think being high value means showing off their success or trying to prove themselves. But true value is something entirely different. We have talked in previous episodes regarding what women are actually attracted to. And it really comes down to this: your ability to make them feel safe, your genuine presence, and your capability to lead while remaining emotionally available. Can you make her feel safe? Can you show up as who you are? And do you have the capacity to lead? When you truly embody these three qualities, you're naturally filtering for high value women. You're not trying to convince anyone of your worth. You're simply being the kind of man who attracts quality connections. Look, I'm not a car girl, but I like to think of this in the car analogy. You know how there are people out there who buy a high-end car and then constantly talk about its features, the price tag, how exclusive it is, and it actually makes the car seem less impressive. You're kind of like, dude, I get it. You bought a really nice car. On the flip side, when you see someone driving a truly exceptional car with this quiet confidence, they don't say anything to you, and you sit in the passenger seat and the leather feels really good and the engine gears up quickly, and without saying a word, you are flying down the road. That's when someone says, holy shit, this is a nice car. What is it? Why did you buy it? Where did you get it from? Tell me everything, right? Because this car and this person with it is not trying to prove anything to anyone. And that's when it hits different. So in the world of writing, there is a saying, show, don't tell. So instead of telling someone how high value you are, show them. The third action is to rebuild what you think a good first date is. Forget everything you've been told about impressive restaurants or clever conversation starters. The key to a compelling first date is creating an experience that allows for natural connection while really demonstrating your ability to lead. So this is a great formula that I like to think about, is to first and foremost choose an activity that involves movement or shared experience. Create opportunities for natural touch. So thinking something like going out dancing together, or taking a dance class, or taking a cooking class, or having her come over and you can like cook dinner together, or going to her place and cooking, or if she doesn't feel comfortable going to someone's home yet, go to a park and grill. Do something that is hands-on and physical, and build in moments for both conversation and for comfortable silence. It can feel really overwhelming to think about, oh, we're going to be together for a couple of hours. That means that we have to talk nonstop. So build in to your experience moments where it's totally okay to be silent. So maybe you're out on a bike ride together. Maybe you are playing cards at a park. Whatever it is, doing things that I like to share this piece about having a physical activity because it welcomes in movement so that there isn't this uncomfortable, I'm staring at you for 2 hours talking, but it also invites in interactions with the environment. So if you're feeling stuck in what to say to somebody, you can comment about something that's going on and they can comment to you as well. So it just creates a lot more layers of opportunity to explore with and play and have fun. Now look, I will say this. If you have your routine down of the type of dates that you like to go on, you're saying to yourself, Kirsten, I am going on a coffee date because I'm not going to give someone that I just met on a dating app more than an hour. Cool. I get that. And also, look, if you are going on daytime walking dates, does that make you feel sexy? Do you think that makes her feel sexy? If you are cramming in a date at lunchtime in between work meetings, are you in a mindset to actually be flirtatious and fun and playful? Ask yourself these questions. And I get it. If you don't want to invest time and money into someone that you barely know, that totally makes sense. And how will you ever get to know them if you are continually thinking, there's probably nothing here, so I'm just going to grab a cup of coffee to sniff it out? With that, let's talk about something that might be really uncomfortable: dating app rejection. Here's what most people don't realize is that dating apps are really designed to keep you swiping, not to help you actually find love. From what I've come to understand, the algorithms are typically working against you finding a great match too quickly. But there are some strategies for how to use this to your advantage. Limit your swiping time to 15 minutes a day. When you pull up the apps, 5 minutes of swiping, 10 minutes of responding to messages, or 10 minutes of swiping, 5 minutes of responding to messages, boom, done, bye. Use better photos, and we're going to get into that in a moment. Write a bio that creates curiosity rather than trying to sell yourself to somebody. And most importantly, see the app as just one channel in your broader dating strategy. I said that we were going to cover some dating app strategies, and this is that moment. Let's dive into what is going to make a great dating app profile. Studies show that photos showing you engaging in activities get more responsive than standard headshots. Why? Because they tell a story about who you are without saying a word. This looks like, instead of you saying in your bio, "I'm adventurous," include photos of you doing the extreme sports that you love. Instead of saying, "I love to travel," have photos that show you in the places that you have recently been. This is going back to that show, don't tell. With that in mind, you might be thinking, well, what the hell am I going to put in my bio? Here's a formula that I think is really effective and works. One line about what you're passionate about, one line about what you're looking for, and one playful hook that invites conversation. And I add this last piece because if there isn't an easy in, a woman is going to pass. And the same is true on the flip side, right? Have you ever looked at someone's profile and it feels so generic, but you're kind of curious, but there's not really an easy step in the door to say anything other than, "Hey, how's it going?" Which is probably not going to elicit a response for you. The same is true. So take a moment and look at your profile and ask yourself, where are the easy ins for a woman to engage with me? And if you aren't finding any, this is a perfect time for you to update that. With that, here are 4 red flags that you don't realize you have on your profile that are probably ruining your chances. Number 1, photos where you can't see your face at all. If you have sunglasses and a hat on in every single image, no one knows what you actually look like. And there's this term that I have recently heard called hat fishing, which is when a man is wearing a hat in every single photo and a woman is like, is he bald? Does he have hair? Is he wearing a toupee? What's going on? I don't know what he actually looks like. Is he a cone head from that really old movie where they were aliens and they had cones for heads? Like, what is happening here? We don't know. And this is a thing from marketing where a confused mind never buys. So looking at your photos, is it confusing what I look like? And that comes also down to the group photos where people are like, who is this? Which one is he? Especially if that's your first picture, is a picture of you and 3 of your best friends. We don't know who's who. Okay? So ideally, you want to have 1 headshot and 1 full body shot. Okay. Number 2, for red flags on your dating profile that you might not know you have, 1-word answers to the prompts. This really shows that you have put in literally 0 effort, which is also known as being lazy. And lazy does not equate to being sexy, to being desirable, to being hot, to being wanted, regardless of what level of connection it is that you're looking for. If you're thinking, oh, I'm just on the dating apps to try and hook up with someone, so I'm not actually going to fill these words out, well, that's kind of putting out a precedent to the women that are viewing your profile, even if they are looking for a casual hookup or something, friends with benefits or low investment, they're still going to read it the same way, like, oh, this guy doesn't really care. And that doesn't feel good for anybody. Number 3 for the red flags, negative comments. Being opinionated is super important. However, we want to swap out the negative comments for something more optimistic. If you say, "No drama welcome," let's flip that. Instead, say something like, "There's nothing that I love more than a sweet girl with a chill vibe." Okay, let's try another one. If you are kind of a little curmudgeon about the reality that you're on a dating app, instead of saying, I don't expect to find anything here, swap that with something like, perhaps today is the day I find the diamond in the rough. Or if you have a political stance that is really valuable to you, let's say that you are a conservative individual. And instead of saying liberal swipe left, you could say, I value a woman with conservative morals. That instantly is going to put you and the way people perceive you in a more positive, desirable lens, as opposed to bashing what you don't like, talking about the negatives of being on the apps or the negatives of life in general. You want to show that, hey, by spending time with me, we're going to have a really positive experience together, which includes how we talk about ourselves, our environment, and the things around us. And the final fourth red flag, you guys, let's ditch the cliches. I didn't know this, but apparently every single man in the United States has golden retriever energy and is worried that a woman is going to steal his sweatshirt. Okay, so let's ditch that. If you might be thinking, wait, but Kirsten, I genuinely am a golden retriever vibe. If that's really who you are, make it more specific, because this is a rule of thumb in comedy where the more specific you are, the better. So if you are that golden retriever, you could say something like this. I have golden retriever energy, but it's the type of golden retriever who just ate an entire jar of peanut butter and is bathing in the sun. See how quickly we went from this being a cliche to this really describing who you are and creating, again, those easy ins for a woman to respond. That is so much more respondable and interesting and funny and paints a picture and a story. You can almost like feel the sun shining down as though you just had a big snack after playing all day, right? So that is such a different way to engage on a dating app and share about yourself. Final question about the dating apps. Take a moment and ask yourself this. Does my profile show this is what dating me will look like? Because if right now your dating app is 5 pictures of you in a car wearing AirPods and you have no images of you doing anything or being with anyone, how can she have literally any idea about what dating you would be like? Maybe you have a really handsome face. We love that. However, the 5 pictures of you in your car aren't going to really show her what you're going to do together, what you're interested in, what you're going to talk about, maybe what being intimate with you is going to be like. No clue. And again, a confused mind never buys. I want to add this about dating apps. Stop treating it like a numbers game and start treating it like a filtering system. You're not trying to match with everyone. You're trying to match with the right woman. So here are your actions for this Valentine's season. Number 1, commit to expanding your social ecosystem by joining at least one new activity this week, okay? Challenge yourself. Get out there. Revamp your dating profile using the formula and the insights that we provided. Really sit down and do an audit on your dating app. And if you feel stuck, I am more than happy to take a look at it, and you can send that over to thenakedconnection.com/questions. Number 3, plan one activity-based first date instead of your standard date option. And number 4, most importantly, focus on building a life you love rather than just finding someone to be with. Before we wrap up, I want to give you a specific plan for Valentine's Day itself. Instead of Netflix and self-pitying, here's what you are going to do. This is your day to invest in yourself like the high-value man that you are. So book that massage that you've been putting off, get that haircut that makes you feel confident, hit the gym like you fucking mean it. This is going to set up a powerful precedent that you are the prize and you know that you are worth it. Secondly, use this day to practice some social momentum. While other guys are hiding at home, you're going to be out there building your social ecosystem. Hit up that networking event, take that class you've been eyeing, go for a walk downtown. How are you ever going to meet anyone if you are at home? And third, document your growth. Take photos of yourself doing these activities of you living fully. Why? You might be thinking, I don't need to do that. I'm not an Instagram influencer. I don't give a shit about what goes on my Facebook profile. I don't care. Well, because these will become part of your dating app profile refresh, showing women you're a man who's fully engaged in life, not waiting for someone to be there with them. And here's what's powerful about this approach. You're not just surviving Valentine's Day or blacking it out of your mind. You're using it to your advantage as the next level version of yourself and of your dating life. And while other guys are sending desperate last-minute app messages, you are going to be building a foundation that will attract high-quality women naturally. Being single on Valentine's Day is not a death sentence. It is an opportunity. It's your chance to demonstrate to yourself and the world that you're not waiting for a woman to step into your powerful presence, that you're actually creating a life so compelling that the right relationship becomes inevitable. That's all for this Valentine's special. It has been so fun to put these 2 episodes together. And if you are just tuning in for the first time and you're in a relationship, be sure to check out the Valentine's special episode for couples. And if you're single, take a moment and share this episode with another single buddy of yours. And if you found this helpful at all, take a moment, hit subscribe to the show, leave a review, leave a comment below. And until next time, let's get some. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of The Naked Connection. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss another episode. Trust me on this, your sex life and that special someone in your life will thank you for it. And if you really love the show, please take a moment and leave a 5-star review or a written review and let me know what you think. It would mean so much to me and this show. Until next time, happy connecting.